Are you a cannabis grower who knows what they're doing? Are you looking for a one-stop shop for all things cannabis lighting? Then check out DutchLightingInnovations.com. On our website, you can learn more about our newest UV technology, which allows us to grow stronger, even better terpene profiles while reducing microbial growth. DutchLightingInnovations.com has all your lighting needs, from HPS to CMH to LED and UV. Lights of the highest quality for growers who know what they're doing. Designed, engineered, and made in Holland. Your one-stop shop for all things cannabis, DutchLightingInnovations.com. You can learn more about our newest UV technology. At D.I.Y, we have decades in experience in both commercial and hobby horticulture. As a result, our engineers have developed a brand new range of horticultural lighting products that combine with the tried and tested manufacturing techniques of the existing commercial lighting products with a modern manufacturing process. As a result, we've created a comprehensive line of horticultural lighting products that are designed to enhance user experience and produce better results. That's DutchLightingInnovations.com.
All throughout history, the term stoner has been used a lot. In common usage, it refers to the guilty, the derelict, and the unsavory. The Oxford Dictionary redefines stoned as a state where you have lost your ability to behave or think normally caused by a drug like marijuana or alcohol. I find that to be unacceptable. Welcome to the Daily Chronicles. Here we talk to different types of stoners from all walks of life. So roll up, load up your bongs, ready up that dab, and tune in as we speak the truth about the stigma. This is the Daily Chronicles.
What's up, my tokers, jokers, and smokers? Welcome back to another edition of the Daily Chronicles, y'all. Today, we're gonna go West Coast on this. We ain't even gonna slow it down. We're going straight to the West Coast. I got my dude Brian from the band Good Terms on the fucking show today, man. Welcome to the show, dude. What's going on,
brother?
man?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, dude. Thanks for showing up, man. Thanks for fucking throwing it down, man. I've been waiting to reach out from someone on the West Coast that plays music, that smokes weed, that's from the East Coast. You see what I'm saying?
Man.
Hey, dude, you made it all come true, baby.
We out here, dude. We definitely out here. Yeah, man.
But no, man, I appreciate you coming on. I really do. So Good Terms, huh? GoodTermsBand.com
Good Terms, baby.
for sure.
Hell yeah, brother.
Tell me, how did that come to be?
How did Good Terms come to be? Oh, really long time and a really slow progression. I met Zach and Ivan, who are the two other guitar players in Good Terms. I met when they were kids in Northern Virginia, like third grade or something. Like they're from the same just neighborhood, went to the same schools and stuff. I met Zach, and I was from like the neighboring county in Virginia, so I met Zach at a summer camp, and he was like a counselor, and I was a kid, and we're playing guitar and stuff, like guitar classes. And my first memory of Zach is I'm like 13, he's maybe 16 or 17, and he's got a Gibson guitar case. This is the first day, and I'm like, that asshole's got an Epiphone Les Paul in there, and he's carrying the Gibson guitar case around so he can look cool. And he pulled out the same fucking Gibson Les Paul that he plays in the new video. He's had it forever, and I was like, okay, this guy's legit. Like, all right, this is really cool. And then so I've known them for a long time. And then when Zach went to college, Zach and I and Gio went to Berklee College of Music in Boston. And when Zach went to Berklee, Gio was one of his very first friends. Gio like reintroduced Zach to his love of pop punk because Zach was like a little more of a heavier guy. And I mean, they were in a wedding band together. And then like when I moved up, I went to Berklee too, and Zach helped me get in, and I joined the wedding band when Zach left and Gio left, and then, so it's kind of like we've all been hanging out listening to pop punk for a really long time, and then when we all ended up in LA, Zach had asked me to sing on a demo of a song, of a pop punk song, because I was doing my own band. Like it wasn't even pop punk, it was just like kind of rock stuff, and I sang on this demo that ended up being the first song on our first record, All I Can. The demo vocals I did are the ones that made it to the record, because both of us were kind of like, whoa, like I didn't know you could sound like that. I was like, oh, I didn't know that it would be like that either. So, and then Ivan moved out, and we got Gio involved, and it was kind of this band that like was always kind of feels like it was always meant to be. Zach's always been. It really started with Zach making tracks on his own. He was working at this whole story. He was working at a record label, which was the job he'd aimed for his whole life, and he was realizing he hated it. And he was writing all this pop punk about trying to change his life, and we all kind of just came on one by one. And and then now it's been, I mean, we made a whole record, and we were getting ready to release it, and then 2020 happened, and we were completely shut down. And but it was good because we used that time to learn to make all this content that we were definitely not prepared to be a content creator in 2020s.
It's a huge jump. People don't understand that, like, even creating this takes work,
Oh my God, work.
And that's the thing. Like, people are, I'll get comments that they're like, hey, your green screen's on point. And I'm like, yeah, but it's really simple to do once you learn to do it. They're like, oh, well, how'd you learn to do it? I fucking Googled it. I mean, that's the truth. Like, I
Googled it, and then I got it wrong like 3 times.
Exactly. That's what I'm not telling you, but, and that's just it. Like, there's a bin of missed notes back there. You know what I'm saying? There's a bin of like mistakes on stage. People don't know that, There's
a band of bad songs back there.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's also songs you should just absolutely not play at a Guitar Center, but we won't even talk about that. But drums, bass, you pick up and you strum these first tuned chords, and you're done. You're done. They'll kick you out. Anyways, I look at a lot of similarities in kitchens, cannabis, and anything culture wise with music. It's all the same shit. It's all a show. That's the truth. Cannabis brings people together, much like all of it, but it's not a huge show. That's there's no bright flashes or anything. They're great to look at when you're high. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, but it is a show. It really is. I mean,
oh, absolutely, man.
When you cook in a restaurant, you've got everybody coming to you, paying you a certain amount of money to get this same product. It's the exact same for rock stars. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is, like, we get screamed at if we fuck up. You know what I'm saying? If a rock star fucks up, they expect that. They're like, okay, no big deal.
Well, sure, yeah.
What else you got? Sure, you know what I'm saying?
The other thing is, like, chefs. I mean, how many? I don't. You know what? I don't know this shit. 'Cause I don't know anything. I don't know anything about the restaurant industry. But like, how many meals do chefs make that they're not paid for? I mean, it's got to be. There's got to be a bunch of meals, right? There's got to be a bunch of meals back there. I think that's what, like, that's the thing that you don't know, that people don't know about, is like, that's the amount of times that we fucked up, or not even fucked up, but just practicing. And it felt like fucking up, but it was actually good. It was actually just practicing. And
if you're not ready to fail at something, you're not ready to learn it. That's the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Music is a very great example of that. Now, I like, you know, the fact that y'all went from East Coast back to the West Coast. Like that means that you're onto something. That means that, okay, there's a reason that this happened, you know, and it's interesting because in the green room, we were talking a little bit about your previous cannabis usage or actually lack thereof.
Yeah. Exactly. So we all grew up in Virginia, and I'd never smoked weed in Virginia. It wasn't until we went to college in Boston, and I joined that wedding band, and that's when I started smoking weed. And I definitely Gio, Zach definitely don't smoke as much weed. I don't know if Gio smokes anything other than CBD.
Okay. Fair.
Zach gets a little high sometimes when he wants to listen to music, and then Ivan will try to hang with me, but he'll fall asleep first, which is fine. I definitely was the big stunner of the band. But yeah, I mean, dude, this LA I don't know why it drew all of us. I just counted up my friends at the end of college. I just counted up like where they were in each city.
Yep.
In LA one, and I was like, cool. You don't need to ask me twice. Like. That's sure.
Twist my arm,
right? If all my friends are there and it's the palm trees and I'm a big Guns N' Roses fan.
Okay, so let's say that. Let's say LA didn't work out the way that it did. What would you have done instead? What could we find you doing right now if LA wasn't a thing?
I don't know, man. Because that's a great question. Because outside of good terms, I'm in a wedding band, like we were talking about. I'm in a wedding band, so I do a lot of that stuff. I do a lot of corporate events, solo, hotel, lounge kind of stuff. And I do like music for commercials, which I'm kind of just breaking into, but so far so good.
It's dope as hell, though.
Yeah, it's soul crushing, but it's so stupidly funny that it doesn't matter.
It pays the bills.
Oh, and it pays the goddamn bills, and I sit right here and I do it. So that's the best. So if that all hadn't worked out here, it wouldn't. I don't really think it would have worked out anywhere. Because the only way I got the wedding band stuff, I just sent my resume to a bunch of to just Yelp wedding bands, and every time I do that, I get calls really quick from somebody really great, and so if it hadn't worked out, man, what would I do? I have a degree in jazz composition. Like, there's not much. I don't know. I worked at Starbucks before this. I could have worked at Starbucks somewhere cheaper than Los Angeles, I guess. But I don't know, man. It might be here or bust. Because I'm not going back to DC. Much love to DC. But I'm just
LA or bust.
It's not my place. Yeah. And I'm not a native LA person either. I don't know if I'll be here forever, but it's definitely where I gotta be. I mean, every time I want to go, you get homesick. I go visit home, and as soon as I get home, I'm counting down the days to get back to this room. So,
hey, dude, I know that feeling. It reminds me of Nashville, because when you ask anybody if they're from Nashville, they're not from Nashville.
Oh yeah,
but everybody's from Nashville. You know what I mean? So it kind of, chicken of the sea, if you will. Who fucking knows? But I like what I hear coming from good terms. I really do.
Thank you, dude.
I think that I don't know. It's nice to have that friendly neighborhood band, the emo band, if you will. It's nice to have that. It's nice to be able to rely on that for teenage angst, if you will. God, dude.
We still have so much of that. Even the farther you get from your teenage years, it doesn't fucking matter. That teen angst, it's just still there.
Here's the thing, though. So it's funny because it's like a running thing on the show, but we were talking about on the Daily Chronicles last episode with Sean Rossler, Course Grind podcast. Sorry, Sean. We were talking about how they're remaking movies and series and things like that, trying to remake the classics. I say leave them the fuck alone and give us that new shit we've been wanting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And I think Good Terms is one of those bands where you've taken those old vibes, because all of you have worked behind the scenes, you know, in the music industry, as you were saying, and then you kind of came together. I mean, there's still things that you find demeaning and soul crushing, and you're gonna find that in any good studio or any good fucking kitchen.
yeah.
They're like, that's great, but we need you to sing those 3 words the way it's written. We don't care what you say.
Yeah.
It's soul crushing. It is. It really is. As an artist, you're like, I guess so, you know, and then boom, it's all over, and you hear it a million times, and you have to keep repeating that, you know, and shit like that. It is, you know, that's how
you end up starting a pop punk band is by doing enough of that you're like, okay, man, I gotta have some me time though. Like, True. I gotta do my thing. You know, it's work. Work can be soul crushing. It's just it's work.
It builds character.
Cleaning your house is not like rewarding in your soul, maybe, but you gotta have a clean house. You know what I mean?
Now, I want to talk about, like, I've heard you refer to as the do-it-yourself spirit of the scene. You know, kind of like you do what you grew up in. You know, I take away from that. Here's my takeaway. I think that was like, yo, you found a need for this new sound. You found a need for what you do, and you created that. You know, maybe that's where the DIY comes in, you know. But I have to commend you for the eclectic fucking palette of, you know, sounds that I'm hearing. I can hear influences from everything. We were talking about earlier, your boy with the fucking, you know, he's like, yeah, you love metal with the breakdowns. I was like, yeah, I can tell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, and even with the, you know, the new single, Drive-In.
Drive-In, baby.
Drive-In.
The new single. It's just the best thing we've
Very
ever done.
Very apparent. You know,
yeah,
I actually, no, I do. Yeah, I do. Hang on. We have a video.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Run the video.
That was amazing.
Hell yeah, brother.
That is like one of my, I love it. I can hear the California air in the recording. I know I've said this more than once. I'm going to continue to say it. But it's a good, like, uplifting fucking, you know, like positive song.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Yeah.
And then
It's
his internet
you
crashed.
know,
There it is. There it is.
it's a breakup song, but it's we're just trying to feel good. You know, we're just trying to make it through.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
and we
know,
wanted
it's
to be
interesting
able to-
because like the breakup songs are the best. You know what I'm saying? The songs with the extremes of the emotion are the best. For example, Hoobastank, The Reason. Everyone knows that song.
yeah, absolutely, man.
You know, that's the truth. It's
you know, those are the things, those emotions that you feel like you feel them so strongly, and they don't come up in conversation all the time. You're not like talking to your friends about your heartache all the time. You need to get those out, and you need to see other people having them and have it validated in a conversation. And
catharsis.
I think that's like the whole point of songs and art is.
You know, recording, producing, and mixing all the music. You know, like that's pretty impressive. You know, all of your backgrounds are really impressive. Now, let's run through who does what in the band, because
Okay,
I
yeah.
think that.
Good
So
job.
you play bass, correct, or you play guitar?
No. I sing. I'm the lead singer.
Well, obviously. Okay, so you're a
And
singer.
then,
Sorry.
and then I play guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, there's kind of
Who
no
plays
lead
bass?
rhythm guitar. Yeah, I just so then Gio plays bass.
Okay.
He plays bass and he does all the mixing.
Okay.
And then Zach plays guitar and he does a lot of the production. It's not almost all the production. He does all the production. I don't know why I would say he doesn't do there's like 3 things he's ever not produced for us.
Fair enough.
And he's a big writer, and a lot of the band is at least was started from his vision. So, so
Who's
big
on
time
the drums.
Yeah, he's got a lot to say. He's got a lot. He's always the one with the most notes on
Fair
anything,
enough.
on the artwork or the mixes or the master. You know, which is great because I have no notes. So someone's gonna have notes. And then Ivan plays guitar and he sings. He's the other singer on Driving, and he also writes and he's also just general like production logistical fucking man, dude. There's like nothing that we do that I can imagine doing without him. He's the guy who makes the website. He's the guy who makes sure that everything is going to be good for the music video. He's the guy who makes sure that there's places to sleep for everyone. I also forgot Zach is also our business point of contact, which is Zach, if you're when you watch this, you know, I really appreciate that specific aspect, being our business contact. Like he's the guy you were talking to on Instagram, unless I said it was me.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and then I sing, I play guitar, and I'm the front man. I talk to people, and
I love
to-
seeing that. And
try to be
my
extent-
bad, you know, not knowing how it puts all together. But, you know, in my defense, it's much like kitchens. You'll figure out who does what pretty soon, you know, as you get to listen into it more and shit like that.
Yeah.
Forgive me for not listening to it 1,000 times yet. You know what
No,
I'm
no,
saying?
you're
We're
good.
getting there. We're getting there. But at the same time, it's like, you know, all I got to know is the names. Now, it's interesting. One of the things that made me laugh at the music video, because you laugh at every little small thing sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
I thought the who has the bald head or the balder head? Who was that?
Oh, that's Gio who showed up with
Okay.
a shaved pink head.
Yes. I thought his head was sunburnt for a second. That's it. Because the lighting was
You
so
look so raw, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
I'd be a little-
whoa, that's
Oh, he's
died.
fucked.
Okay,
What
all
the
right,
fuck
he's
is wrong
good.
with it? Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
thought he was fucked. Yeah, I was like, oh shit. That must have been a
Yeah,
rough
man.
day of fucking like having a bald head and trying to film in the desert there, you know? So I was like,
Dude,
all right,
we
well.
lucked out, man. It was literally perfect. I was so worried about how hot it was going to be because it was September, which is not that cold, and it was like threatening to thunderstorm the whole time, but didn't.
Oh shit.
So there was, but it's right. So we were so scared. We showed up and we were like, oh my god, we're not going to be able to shoot this video that we paid for this fucking place to stay and whatever. But it didn't thunderstorm. So instead, it was just like kind of breezy and lots of cloud cover out in the desert, which was like perfect for filming.
Sorry.
So yeah, so we lucked out and had like the rarest, most perfect. And I think the gloominess adds to the song too.
You can feel it.
Right,
Like you can
it's about-
feel
you know,
like
it's a
the
breakup.
resonance
It should
outside
be
of
like
the notes.
Cali Sunshine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
I
Yeah,
feel like-
it's vibier. You just
Yeah. Like it aerates the emotion if you think about it, you know, or
Yeah,
however you
aerates
want,
the
permeates
emotion.
it. But like it's that drive away from that final break. Now that you're saying it, it's all coming together. I guess I had to smoke enough weed, but like it's that drive away when you blast that music loud and you're like breaking up for good or something. I get that, I do, but there's a sense of like melancholy in that a little bit, a little stillness too, because it's like we've all been there, and there's a stigma in that. Some people call the quick version of that the walk of shame. It's the same thing. Yeah. The only difference is you were with that person, with longer than just the one. It's just time, So look at how you will. Yo, so Good Terms. So how did you come up with the name Good Terms? Like that, I'm still trying to figure that out.
It's so dumb. We just had a whole list of potential names. And we just were crossing them out. People be like, "Nah, man, that's too lame," or "That's too sounds like a this band," or "That's too whatever." And I found a band called that on Spotify. That obviously took away most. And dude, we're just left with Good Terms. It is a song by the band Half-Hearted Hero, which I don't really listen to Half-Hearted Hero. I have heard the song Good Terms. It is dope, and I should listen to them more because they're like a fucking dope punk band, really raw and really beautiful, which I think was that's kind of what we try to be, but yeah, so I think it's kind of like a plain name, but I think that's good. I like that. Like when I told my girlfriend and my mom, they're both like, oh, like that's kind of boring, and I was like, no, it'll be fine. So yeah, naming bands fucking sucks, man.
Dude, naming anything sucks.
Yeah, it's really easy to come up with names for things you don't care about. Like little silly joke names, but like to name like something that you're gonna go all in on, like hard.
Dude, imagine trying to like name burgers and menu items and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
There's a recipe, and then there's the dish, and then people start naming certain techniques, and there's a whole and then the same with music, right? There's a way to produce and record and all of this, and that's great. The point to that, what I'm trying to say is this: like, you'll go to a specific burger place, okay, and they'll have local names for specific burgers, right?
Right.
Okay. And it makes sense, okay, with Good Terms, like I'm listening to it after hearing or watching the music video, for driving, you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes a lot more sense to me. The video helps with the song. I heard it a few times before, we were listening to it since it came out. But that was a huge plug, y'all. Go listen to fucking Driving on YouTube under Good Terms. Go listen to it. Here, I'll give you the fucking... Here's the website, so now you can't fuck it up anyway. I was listening to it, I was looking at the video, and you can see a passion, and that's the passion I want to share, and to bring everything all together. Do you find yourself, creative, when you smoke weed? What do you smoke weed for? Kind of like give us a vibe of like how you stepped into smoking weed, because you didn't do it before. When you were growing up kind of East Coast, it was kind of a West Coast thing. Kind of put us in that scene.
Yeah, I started in college. I had like 2 years I smoked weed in Boston. And I definitely smoked like objectively too much. Like enough that it was like it would interfere with the things I wanted to do in life. But there was also like I got really disillusioned with college. Just felt like it wasn't like trying really hard to set me up for any sort of real world purpose. And then like, okay. So like I'm halfway through college and I feel like I'm on my own for my life direction. Like that's kind of, or the guide, like a roadmap of what I could do. And that was a lot to take in. And I definitely coped by just smoking too much weed and then finding that like, oh, now I'm like higher than I should be, like than I want to be on a date, or I'm higher than I want to be like at a work thing, a wedding thing, whatever. And so when I got to LA, probably starting off in LA was still doing that because now you can just go buy it. But there was some time where, especially when Good Terms, I started to take Good Terms more seriously, and I started working at Starbucks, which was like kind of a low point because I'm working. I started working at Starbucks. It's not a sick thing to work for. It's not a sick place to be starting to work at Starbucks. But it felt, and I knew it was feeling like the beginning. Like I was like, oh, I'm I'm here because I have a plan. I'm going to do this band. I'm going to work in the industry. I don't know how yet, but I just got to stay afloat with the Starbucks thing. And then everything kind of fell into place, because then I'm like, you can smoke and work at Starbucks for sure, but I didn't like it. I was really customer facing, and I definitely get creative when I'm high. So like that's the vibe, creative or relaxation. I'm not necessarily like very social. So, and I was also always the drive-through guy, because surprise, surprise, I have a very good like voice. Hey, hi, thank you for choosing Starbucks. This is Brian. What can I get started for? Like I'd be really clear.
I almost just ordered something. Goddamn, yeah, that works.
Which just wasn't. So like, but to hold someone's order in your head when you're kind of stoned, it wasn't the vibe. So when I got home, it was like, okay, well now it's time to like write a song for my band or whatever. And then get a little stoned, watch some fucking Halo on YouTube. And
hell yeah,
and the ideas will come if the guitar is laying around, right? So, and then nowadays, it depends. Like I just had this weekend. I was telling you in the green room of I had this weekend of working these long weddings. Like I was gone for over 12 hours one day, and those days, there's really no weed until I get home, 2 a.m.
Right.
Smoke a small bowl, have a bowl of Cheerios, go to bed.
What's your go-to? Like, if you could sit down and smoke weed the same way for like a week straight, what would it be?
What sort of method? Probably
try that again.
This is I think just a bowl. Like what you're saying? What method, right? Yeah, I've always gone back to bowls. I mean, I got a bubbler that is really nice. I have a one hitter. I do like the chillin' one hitters. I have a big bong that I consider breaking out for the podcast, but it's just too dirty, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's obviously fun, but like, it's kind of like I'm not in college, man. I can't drink that anymore.
Right.
Kind of thing. I don't know if I don't know if I
sometimes, yeah.
I think I don't know if I can handle more than like one hit or two hits if it's a really long hang.
What about dabs? Do you find yourself dabbing at all?
I have never dabbed.
Okay.
And I don't really have a strong interest, mostly because like THC isn't the most important part.
It's not. You're right.
You're correct. For me, like I don't need to be like maxing out my THC, like how high I'm getting. I find that like the ritual, if it's the time of my day where I can smoke weed, that's great. Like this is a good time of my day. I don't even necessarily need to smoke weed. Sometimes, like this is not often, but there are definitely times where I've packed the bowl and I start doing the thing I'm going to do while I smoke, and then I like look up and it's been an hour and a half and I didn't actually smoke yet. It's just that like
that freebasing period.
Yeah, like I'm just living in the high of hey man, I'm about to smoke weed. And I'm living that high for an hour, But yeah, it's I sit at this desk a lot and I do a lot of creative stuff. I do a lot of writing and song demoing, and I do a lot of TikToking. I do a lot of Instagram. I do a lot of social media stuff. And it's again only so stoned I want to be when I do that stuff. Mostly because I'm like the front man of the band, and I have this way I want to act, and it isn't like I have to like remember words and shit, which just isn't the best thing when I'm high. But especially for coming up with ideas, right? Or just trying things out. Anything where you can be like really comfortably vulnerable. I find weed is just like makes that experience a little richer.
I say, yeah, I would go as far as to say it enhances the ambience.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think it can focus you. Which I think the focusing effect is really fun. It just makes you really enjoy whatever you're doing. So, I mean, like I said, I'm cleaning my house today for Thanksgiving, like I was saying in the green room. I have to clean the whole house today, and which I haven't cleaned the house in minutes. I got a lot of things to do. And it's like
you gotta start finding shit.
Yeah, man, I gotta get some magic erasers and shit. Like I'm not prepared. But I'm gonna smoke some weed and I'm gonna put on some music and I'm gonna get this shit done and it's gonna be fine.
Hell yeah. Well, I suggest listening to some good terms. Yo, listening to yourself on Spotify, like when you hear your own song, is it weird to you? Like you're like, I wish I wouldn't have sang like that, or like you start critiquing the shit. Is it weird?
It was. I mean, I put my first thing on Spotify in 2014, with like my like high school band, and I put out some stuff before Good Terms, and that was definitely like, you know, because there's not like when I was a kid there was no Spotify. It was like,
Right.
I guess imagining my song or my CD in Target or something, because I also like where I'm from, Virginia, there isn't a lot of like culture. There isn't a lot of like mom and pop owned record stores or anything. There's like Targets and shit. So it's like you kind of, the only thing that exists are massive bands and extremely local bands.
Or was that the mailer back in like the latter 90s where you could get, you know, 13 CDs for $1 a piece or a penny a piece? Or you remember that shit?
No,
Columbia Records or something?
I would have been like 4 at that time, actually.
Oh well, damn! I just dated myself. All right,
I
well,
was
there's that.
I was born in '95. I'm the youngest one in the band. They call me Kid, actually.
Makes sense.
The rest of the guys are a little older.
But no, it's you know, that's where you want to see yourself. You know,
so
those images, and it's starting to happen.
But this time, it's honestly great because the first Good Terms record, like I said, we finished it before 2020. We finished it. And then it took forever for it to come out, and to the point like I was promoting that record in September, October, all of October, up to halfway of October. I was you know, promoting these songs that are from like I sang in 2018. So by the time it's on Spotify, like, dude, it sounds like 3 minutes and 30 seconds that I'm gonna wait through. Like, it doesn't sound like anything to me anymore. And I totally wish I sang it differently. Like, there's all these things I've learned so much. By the time I put it out, I was like, well, I know how to scream better. I know how to hit high notes better. All this, I know what tone I want to have better now. But shit's mastered. Yeah, shit's done. Just got it up there. So Driving is the first one. I was thinking this as you were playing the video, and I'm bopping along to it, and I'm like, yeah, this is the first time that I'm putting a song out, and I'm still down to listen to it. Like, I still enjoy listening to it. And it's not even that. You know, I mean, I think I recorded the vocals at least a year. Maybe it was this year. Maybe it was this year I recorded the vocals.
That's just it. We do these projects, and then like, you know, when it's one more time,
right? I mean, I assume it takes a long time for you to, you know, you were saying about, you know, you want to make a video, and the first thing you think is, okay, well, I got to learn to make a video real quick. Like, well, that video idea is going to take so long to get out. It requires so much, I mean, passion and love and vision, and you know, hopefully it does its job and it brings people together when it comes out, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's the goal. You know, with music, there's a lot that leads up to the recording studio, and then after that, that's what people don't see. So to correlate that in terms of a kitchen, you come up with instead of a song, come up with a dish. Take that dish over to putting it together, and you know, recording the recipe and teaching people how, you know, getting a mastered copy of it, and then you're making sure that it works, tweaks, it sounds good. That's where you're at. You master it at that point, and then you have to promote the fuck out of it. That's really the truth. You know, you have to literally, like, you know, put it in the skimpiest clothes you can find and set it into the, you know, the gnarliest places. It's the damn shame. And again, you're going to do things that to do good shit, you got to do bad shit. That's the truth. Whatever you take away from that's yours to keep. But the fact is, that's not just the end. It's the whole Michelin idea too. You bust your ass to be, you know, obtain a certain status, and then you've got, that's the new normal. You know, and that's just like you said, since that song, I've heard, you know, learned this, learned that, done this, done that. And then like this shit now isn't going to come out for like another 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And you're like just waiting that. Dude, that makes me excited as shit to hear this, because now I get to sit back and watch you grow. That's dope as shit.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Yeah, man, we got 5 more songs that are like pretty much done. And a whole host of shit after that. So, and I'm fucking so stoked on all of them, man. I listened to them last night on the way home from my 2-hour drive from my gig home.
Hell yeah! You should do that for your TikToks. Is just record like a car like sing along thing. People love that shit.
Dude, people fucking love that shit. I know they do. I've tried it.
That's just it.
Dude, making content is hard. The promotion stuff, like thank God. I can't imagine what it's like, you know, as a chef. I mean, because I guess you do have a team. Because like for me, when I was doing my own band, one thing I was thinking was like, I was a solo artist, and I was like, this is impossible. Like, how the fuck can I do all? Like, there's no way. And like, thank God that I can. They produce, they mix, they figure out the logistics. My only job, other than singing, is
you're the face of the band. You got to do that. That's the truth. you know.
Try to like make it actually bring people together and like hope that people like me, you know.
Well, you're doing a damn good job, and here's a little clairvoyance onto how I control and created the madness. Now, I will tell you everything deliciously dope right here, right now. That's the truth. If y'all want to figure out how I do it, here's for the haters and the creators. That's fine. I've got people out there mimicking my shit. I fucking love it. It's the highest form of flattery. Let's go. I made it all. I did everything. All the credits. Yeah, I started that. I created those positions and was wearing that hat until I handed it off. Okay. Now here's the best part. Those people actually do something because they were like, holy shit, this is like a full-time job. Well, that's my point. You know, much like, you know, to your, you know, what you were doing. I created the show, you know, I create the graphics, and then I pass that on. Each one teach one. That's just something in kitchens that I learned, you know, to someone who gives a shit, you know. And so I'll pass it on to, you know, huge shout out Larry Ricketts, man doing the cameras, you know what I'm saying? Like, he said he wanted to learn how to do it. I taught him. He's doing his own thing, you know what I'm saying? Streamwise, go check him out, you know what I'm saying? I forget his gamer tag, but we'll flash it below, you know. Follow him on Twitch and shit, you know what I mean? But he also does cameras here. That is a huge, like, you know, like fucking thing to put on a resume. It's something you're doing. With
shout out to my own camera guy, Sam Lapone. I mean,
what up, dude? What up?
What making the team? I mean, that's honestly that's the first part of your community that you're trying to bring together, isn't it? Is you do your thing, you try to inspire. You know, hopefully someone sees you and is inspired and like wants to be a part of it somehow, and then hopefully that just grows and grows and grows. You know,
I mean, shit. How can you listen to Good Terms and not be inspired? The name isn't all inspiring in itself. It's Good Terms, not grand, not great, not greasy. Good.
Good. Good,
all right, man. I I hate to have like that fucking stupid little hook to end that, but that was a damn good show. It really was, man. I really do appreciate you coming on. Like, Good Terms, y'all check them out at goodterms.com. Good Terms Band on Instagram right now. Good Terms, dude. It's just hell. Like I it's stuck in my head. Like the fucking like.
Also on TikTok. Also on TikTok. I think we're Good Terms.
Go to the TikTok thing.
Yeah,
go to the TikTok thing. I don't really mess with that. I'll have to follow your lead on that one, but
dude, that video, the video you showed me, the thing, dude, you could make some TikToks that people would watch and share for.
I mean, I'm trying to make a show that people will watch. I mean, you know, fuck 15-30 seconds. Like, let's watch the whole video. You know what I'm saying?
Oh well, sure, yeah, I got you. I mean, you know,
I'm
also
one thing like that.
One thing I think of now, especially with like videos and stuff, is, you know, drive-in is like bigger than the song. It's bigger than the video. We made this video, this 2-minute 40-second video of the whole song, but like, so many people aren't gonna watch that. They're gonna watch, but they will watch 30 seconds. And part of me is like, hey, what the fuck? We spent so much time, but whatever. They are going to watch 30 seconds, and like, you know what? There is a good 30 seconds I can show them, and there's a story the 30 seconds tells too, and that's kind of just how I've been trying to like stomach it, because there's a lot.
It's ADD personified.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. But and is it good for our attention spans? I don't. If it makes them shorter, you know. But whatever, man. That's the world I've been growing up in too. So.
Hey, listen, TikTok, it works though. It works. TikTok, you know, I've heard a lot of good things about TikTok myself.
Yeah. You hear a lot of bad.
I find myself, but I mean, hell, I probably should, you know, get on that.
I would encourage.
I'll tell you what, I'll make some cooking videos, put on TikTok.
Dude, I highly encourage you to do it. And even if you don't like, if you can just get the algorithm to start showing you the shit you like. That's huge. You know, it'll start to pop up and be like, oh, I want to say this. I want to contribute. You know, and people are fucking there, and they'll grow, and they'll watch the full. You know, some people will follow you.
I think I got to get up to the 1,000 people so you can go live. I think if we can go live, that would be dope.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I try to go live
cooking videos.
Yeah, man, absolutely, dude.
Well, let's go fucking hang out on TikTok. Let's do that. Well, yeah.
Fuck yeah, that'd be fun.
All right. Well. If you don't know, you already know, you know, This is like fucking been a very like West Coast, East Coast connecting in the most literal of fucking terms episode of the Daily Chronicles, y'all. Huge shout out to my boy Brian here, man. Thank you very much. You know, also, absolutely, dude. I'm gonna go back and listen to the fucking drive-in. You know, I mean, seriously, right now, y'all. Hit new single coming out. It's already out. It's wherever you're gonna find your music. Down below. Drive in. Go check it out. Buy good terms. All right, my tokers, my jokers, my smokers. We're gonna catch y'all on the flip, y'all. All right. Peace.